Season 6, Race 9 of my F1 2020 Mighty Guru mode. We are here in Canada, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. First time coming back since I come back to this game that I had a struggle in qualifying. Did not go swimmingly, to say the least. P14 was actually very close up front for pole. Ricciardo just edged out Albon, who had a great qualifying effort to put him up in P2 for the Red Bull team that has not done well this year. Then you got Hamilton and Bottas, Kvyat and Verstappen, Giotto and Matsushita, Gasly, Norris, Ocon, Sainz, and then Leclerc and myself. Now the championship standings, Ricciardo is ahead by 14 over Bottas, 20 over myself, 20 over Verstappen, 24 over Hamilton, and 31 over Leclerc. So this could be a chance for Ricciardo to extend his championship lead. But as I will show you in a minute, there is a bit of a spanner in the works going into this race, which I will reveal momentarily.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
So looking at the race rundown for the pre-race here, and you can see what I'm talking about with the little monkey wrench into everything. We got some rain in this race, but crucially, it's not going to be raining the whole race. It's going to be for about half the race, and then I'll finish on dry. So that will certainly make things very interesting as we get ready to go for the Canadian Grand Prix.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. It's a tricky circuit to tackle in wet conditions, with top speed still of critical importance down the long back straight. There are 2.7 miles and 14 corners overall on a circuit that in the dry can see average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour. We'll be lucky to get anywhere near that today. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Can we talk about Mercedes? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Daniel Ricciardo has a clear view ahead from pole position, and Alexander Albon lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Daniel Kvyat and Verstappen, Giotto, Matsushita, Gasly and Lando Norris, Ocon, Sainz, Charles Leclerc and the owner driver, Stroll, Aitken, George Russell and Kevin Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Latifi, Calderon and Nick De Vries.
So no assistance from penalties in this race for grid penalties, so we are remaining in 14th place. And yeah, if we can get into the top 10, that's like just to get points, that's I will gladly take that. And then once the start sells out, we'll see what happens from there. The key is going to be when the rain is going to stop.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
All right.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap. Okay, here's who we're really fighting today, Leclerc and Stroll. Current forecast is 5 or 10 more minutes of rain before it dries up. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
So I guess the big thing to worry about is going to be when do we reach the crossover point to switch onto dry tires? And then when we do that, how far are we into the race? Because how far we are into the race by the time we switch on to dry tires, you know, it's going to determine what tire I end up going with. You know, I was able to carry in a normal dry race, I'm normally able to carry the softs to at least about 15 laps or so. So if we're under wet conditions until lap 20, at the very least, then I can see myself going on to softs for the rest of the race. If it's closer to lap 15, I feel like mediums will probably be the better way to go if the idea is to do a one-stop, which I'm presuming. I mean, the easiest strategy I would think would be to just slap on hard tires to the end, but that's going to be pretty slow, so I feel like mediums are the better option, but again, it's all going to depend on when do we hit that dry type crossover point. That's going to be crucial in determining how things play out in this race. Alright, let's see what we can do here on the start. Might need a couple rewinds, but we'll see how it plays out. Alright, here we go. 5 red lights for the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal. Lights out and away we go. Move on Leclerc. Dive bomb into turn 1 if I can. I'm gonna get my damage. Again, not the cleanest. Not the cleanest. Oh, how is that 4 illegal overtakes? I don't know how you can call that 4 illegal overtakes. Again, how are those illegal overtakes? I'm passing them on. Is it because I'm making contact with Leclerc? I'm guessing that's what it must be, is the fact that I'm making contact. Again, illegal overtake. See if we can go from here. Oh, it's gonna be tight here, 3 wide. This first chicane. Not clean. Trying to just stay on close. Trying to pinch him down. There we go. The overtake mode here. And that's not gonna work. You know what? I'm just gonna restart. It's too much nonsense. Start there. Let's try this again. I hit the wall immediately, really. Better. Front wing. Everything looks okay. Trying to go around the outside of the Renault here. Gasly. There we go. Same problem as last time, just trying to get around a 3 wide situation. Squeeze ever so slightly. That's better. At least we're sorted out here. Front wing, that's good. Big dive bomb there. Was not expecting that. But we are up into P6. It's hard to see through all the spray. Here we go, hairpin. This is going to be tricky. Bit of a dive bomb that worked for like 80% of it. Now that's a good dive bomb right there. No contact. I'll take that. So going from P14 up to P5. So not too shabby. As Daniel Ricciardo begins to slowly pull away. Alexander Albon is settled in P2. By
That's
Hamilton,
a decent start. Good job.
Bottas, and myself. there will be no DRS available to being in wet weather conditions. Slide. And it gets right up to Bottas though. He's side by side, drag race. Who's gonna get the better? Bottas pulling ahead ever so slightly. I think we're gonna have the better line into the chicane. And as we make contact, that one did not work out. I think I got a little closer than I thought we were. That's a bit better. Up into P4.
The car behind is dropping back. We're seeing a gap form.
So, had to restart once. Had to use a couple rewinds, but we've finally gotten a pretty clean start here.
Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy. We anticipate an end to this rain in around 5 minutes. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
Lap of the race right there. So we clearly have pace in the wet right now. At least on certain parts of the track we have pace. Just set fastest sector 1 right there. Closing in on Lewis Hamilton, our
It
teammate.
looks like we'll be running on a dry track soon. Back to dry shortly.
Another fastest lap right there. Right on the back rear diffuser of my teammate. Could have had a little bit of a better run for that set that part of the track. really close to Hamilton. It's just a matter of trying to find the point to pass. Find the right opportunity to pass. And not run in the back of him. In a slipstream with using ERS, but can't really get any closer than I am right now. Once again, I risk running into the back of him. It's really this corner right here that I'm trying to... I finally got down, but Hamilton hit the brakes way too early for me.
Ricciardo's the race leader.
I might be able to get Hamilton this time around. I'm the closest I've ever been to him. And not the cleanest pass, but I got by him. It was more of a dive bomb and slide, but what can I say? It worked out. Now Alexander Albon next up the road in P2.
I don't think the line is really dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold on to the inters for a while longer.
It's about 3 seconds out front at the moment. Really curious to see what we can do once we can get by Alex Albon in the Red Bull. Definitely close enough to him like I was with Hamilton, so I definitely think this lap I can get the pass. He's driving a slower car as well, so
if you think you can get past, make use of the overtake button and see what you can do.
We can dive bomb into the hairpin. Yes, we can. Use that dive bomb into the hairpin. Albon switches around. See if we get back by. We are going to have the slipstream. Make a little contact, but that's okay. We soar into P2.
It's not a perfect situation, but I don't think we have cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
Didn't expect to get dry this soon. Thought it would be a couple more laps, but we're definitely close. The rain has stopped.
Only 2 seconds behind the car ahead. Keep pushing.
Fastest lap of the race right there. It's tricky because there's still clearly spray coming off the cars. This rate, I think the move to make is going to be to go onto mediums. So I don't think the softs are going to last this long. If we pit now and go to the end.
The tyre situation is an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got right now.
Still spray coming off the tires at this stage. Fastest lap of the race.
We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap.
Yeah, Ricciardo and myself have really broken away from the rest of the field. I think Albon is really holding up Hamilton and Bottas back there.
Pushing, you're gaining on the car ahead. Okay, looks like some of those puddles are clearing. We're still on the right tyre for the time being, but we're not a million miles away from slick conditions.
Jeff still doesn't think it's quite dry enough yet for slick tires. Use your overtake button more, it's time to utilize some of this energy.
strategy is available on the MFD.
Looks like it's time.
Okay, copy that.
Time to come into the pits. We're following Ricardo right in. DRS enabled. Yep, that's the sign.
Right, come in at the end of this lap. Affirmative. Medium tyres at the next stop. Lewis is in the pits.
Ricardo also goes on to the mediums.
Go. Exit now.
Pit stop
We're
for
racing
my
on the
team.
exit. Go, go, go. Okay, you only have to stop once now. One stop left.
Ricardo got stuck behind somebody on, stayed out on wet tires. See if we can use that to our advantage at all. Still stuck behind him.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
See if I can take that turn better, because I really just slid it in there. That's the best I'm gonna get. Carter looks like to get by Kyoto, who stayed out an extra lap.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. We're leading our teammate by 8.4 seconds.
Ricardo just had the fastest lap of the race. I guess the big question is going to be, is he going to stop again, or is he going to the end? I would think he is going to the end. I think it'd be silly to make another pit stop at this stage.
ahead is beginning to pull away.
Yeah, Ricardo's definitely pulling away from me now. I'm gonna have to start worrying about fuel conservation, considering I've used a lot of it. Trying to chase down Ricardo.
Gap to the car ahead is around 2 seconds.
Bottas just hits the fastest
The
lap
car
of the
behind is
race.
gaining on you by 0.5 a lap.
Well, slightly. Bottas sets the fastest lap again. Now Hamilton sets the fastest lap. I'm sure the DRS is coming in handy with those lap times. Again, the only thing I'm still not entirely certain of at this stage is whether the guys, or whether everyone on medium tires is going to the end, or if they're stopping again. I know Kyoto is definitely going to stop again because he can't go to the end on softs. Neither can Lando Norris. So those two definitely have to make another stop.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Got that confirmed?
I don't know about everyone else who did go on the mediums. So that's why I'm still trying to pedal at least somewhat a little here, because I don't want Ricardo to get too much of a lead for when if he were to pit. If he were to pit. I don't know if he is or not. I can't say that for certain, really. But still, even if we don't improve beyond here, I mean, this is still, you know, a great result compared to where we were in qualifying, you know, going from 14th on the grid to 2nd. Definitely deserving of Driver of the Day honors, that's for sure. Also note that the pack behind me, Albon and Bottas,
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button now.
those two are starting to close in on me ever so slightly with each passing lap. They're not gaining a ton of time on me, they're slowly clawing their way back towards me, essentially. So I would say if the people on mediums don't stop again until lap. Here's the thing with the mediums. You know, previous seasons, I would stretch the softs pretty far and then run to the end on mediums on a 20-lap stint. And it's been so long since I've done a race here in Canada that I don't really recall if the AI were able to pull off a one-stop on, like, soft, medium, medium, or whatever the hell, but that's something, again, that I'm keeping an eye on that. My pit stop window says lap 34, I can stretch to lap 35 and, you know, win the race if Ricardo does pit. And, you know, I think if Ricardo is going to pit, I feel like it's going to have to be sometime between lap 24 and 27. If it's lap 28 and he still hasn't come in yet,
we're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer.
He's probably not coming in.
Over target. Drop down to mix too soon. Gap to teammate behind is 7.3 seconds.
Yeah, so like I was saying before Jeff spoke up there, if it gets to like lap 28 and Ricardo still hasn't pitted yet, then he's not coming in. Because they're not going to go that deep into the race and not pit. Or they're not going to go that deep into the race if they have to pit again, I should say. They won't do that. The only time they do that is if it was like a wet weather situation where it was going, if that was that late in the race, it was going from wets to dries to wets, then they would come in potentially, but yeah, so let's see how this plays out. And if nobody else pits, and that was it for the pit stops, then I'm going to be having to do some hardcore defensive maneuvers to hold on to second place. But a pack is coming behind me.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums. Okay, clear.
Uh-oh, somebody's got a problem. Looks like it's one of the AlphaTauris. Oh, is that Danny Kvyat again? This will be the third race in a row that Kvyat has encountered some sort of problem mechanically. There it is.
Some information on Kvyat. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
Let's look at where he stopped. Stopped right at the end of the first sector, start of the second. Don't think that'll bring out a safety car. Seems like he's in a safe enough area. The field is so spread out. Oh.
Lewis is in for a stop.
Just had some pit stops. Hamilton and Albon and Verstappen, Bottas just pitted. From good positions too. They're all coming in for a second set of mediums. So could that mean that Daniel Ricciardo is going to make another pit stop here? Bottas pitted, so surely Ricciardo must be thinking about coming in. Going up on our former teammate, Tatiana Calderon. And yeah, no, Ricciardo stays on track. Ricciardo stays on track for another lap. Actually, I didn't even notice this. I thought Bottas had pitted. He did not pit.
In this lap, push now. We're leading our teammate by 19.5
Bottas is almost on my gearbox here. I thought Bottas had pitted, but he did not. So very interesting. So myself and the two Mercedes cars have chosen to stay out, while seemingly everyone else, actually I'm not sure if everyone else, mostly everyone else. So the three up front, then Jack Aitken, Kevin Magnussen, George Russell, Nicholas Latifi. So we got a couple people who haven't, I think it's the third of the field. Rough estimate has decided to stay out on their current tires for the moment. Very interesting strategy on part of those teams. Did not really expect that. The thing with Bottas now is that he's pretty much like me. I mean, at least for Bottas, he definitely has to be committed to the strategy, because if he pits, he's going to lose a ton of spots. The people behind him who are going to be on fresh tires and coming very quickly. Slower lap traffic. George Russell.
We need to push now. Use your overtake button for more power.
Easy pass there. Hamilton just at the fastest lap of the race. Well, if there's any good news, it's that those people should take away any possibility of... Jeez, Bottas, what are you doing? I was gonna say, those people pitting should at least eliminate any possibility that Ricciardo gets the fastest lap point, unless Ricciardo does decide to pit. Oh, Bottas, what are you doing? What are you doing, mate? Jeez, Bottas, what are you doing? You're like running me off the track here.
A new strategy is available on the MFD. green flag. Safety car, safety car.
Oh, that's
no
gonna bring on a
overtaking,
safety car.
reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up. A new strategy is available on the MFD. Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. Confirmed. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap. We don't have the data for that, I'm afraid. Roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop.
Let's see how this can work out for us.
Go now. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track. Return the position immediately or we will be penalised. There is no overtaking during the safety car period.
So that contact, Bottas is trying to defy me, now allowing me to go pit stop for soft tires. In which you might think that it's going to be an easy win for me, but not necessarily. We got so many lap cars in front of us, or between the field here, that make things very interesting. Complete shootout. For all I know, this might not even help us. We could be go and just not gain anything and still finish second. So, especially since we have to get by 4 lap cars, while Ricardo has clean air. So it's not going to be that simple. That is for sure. Now the sun is shining. Once I realized I made contact with Bottas, I did the rewind just to make sure that I didn't get damage, but yeah, I honestly really wasn't trying to wreck Bottas there. I was just trying to defend, or I was trying to just pinch him down to the point where he might just spin out, which that wouldn't bring out a safety car. That wouldn't really change anything. If Bottas just spun by him after contact from me, that would not have brought out a safety car or would have affected the race that much, really, aside from Bottas dropping out of the top 10. So.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again.
Alright, here we go.
Safety car is in this lap.
lap.
When the field accelerates, remember, there is no
lappers
overtaking until the green flags. Safety car in this lap.
So I'll give blue flags immediately.
The
we
track
go.
is clear. Green flag.
De Vries, goodbye. Tiffy dives out of the way. Only Magnussen in front. All the fuel to burn. Let's see what these soft tires are worth.
We're catching the car ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last till the end of the race. Gap to teammate behind is 1.7 seconds.
Ricardo is bad fast.
Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy. Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Couldn't make that turn.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
Are in DRS range. Coming to 3 to go. We are there. We are so there. We are right there. Getting ready to challenge Daniel Ricciardo for the lead. Oh, Renan is outside.
You're increasing
DRS
the gap on the
deployed.
car behind by 0.5 per lap.
That was too dirty. Don't want to do it that way. Very hard to pass right here. Ooh, got him! That was clean. I hit the wall almost immediately. Right there. Got it. game of defense, because then they're going to have DRS behind me. Get better traction off, just holding on for 2 more laps. This will be our 3rd win of the year, if we can hold on. Which I think would be most of the season so far for anyone, because Ricardo has 2.
2 laps of fuel remaining.
I have 2. Bottas has 2. And Verstappen and Hamilton each have 1. So... fastest lap of the race, so I presume I'll probably keep that. Alright. Ricardo will not see challenge. Albon, he's too far back, out of DRS range. So here we go, final lap. Everything's on the line.
This is your final lap of the race.
Worked my butt off in the rain, trying to get to the field. And honestly, after that restart, I really felt like after I got by the lap cars, I felt like he was gone. Because there was a point where he was gaining on me. Or pulling away from me. Right there at the end. Not right there at the end, but the first couple laps after the restart once I cleared the lappers. But I thought, he beat me. I was going to catch him. Then I found a burst of speed and got him, but it's not over yet. Ricardo's right there. He's going to have DRS. Our secret weapon is that we get such good traction out of that final corner. Just pull away. Don't think Ricardo is going to have enough here to challenge. Because of the final chicane. Nice and easy. Past the wall of champions. Car's going to have burst of speed. It's not going to be enough. We win the Canadian Grand Prix.
Nice work. That's P1.
14th
Race
first.
win. Well done.
A truly magnificent drive there and a great performance from the entire team to secure victory here in Canada. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
Good on Albon to get on the podium as well. Red Bull have not exactly had a stellar season, so it should help them. We don't take the lead from Ricardo in the championship, but we do gain on him.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Daniel Ricciardo can be happy with the points he's earned today as it pushes his lead out even further. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I'm going to give it to the owner driver today. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. Well, that's an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
And that was the Canadian Grand Prix. I'm going to check the highlights here briefly just to see if I can catch a glimpse of that Bottas crash. Saw it sort of in the rear view. Didn't really get the best look at it afterwards. Here we go. Oh, I guess we can't change. Guess we can't change in the highlight form. So use the photos to sort of see what happened here. So yeah, Bottas got spun and then just collided with George Russell. It's actually a good spot for a picture. That piece of front wing flying almost to the top of the bridge there. Yep, so you got a good look at the accident that took out Bottas and Russell. I think you can even get a better view with Russell's wheel coming off there. Funny that Russell and Bottas kind of crashed together after what happened in real life in Imola, but yeah, so we'll take a look at the standings. Constructors closed up a lot between Mercedes and Monster Energy Racing, only 10 points. That's practically nothing in terms of the constructors. Drivers' Championship, we are now 13 points behind Daniel Ricciardo. Bottas's DNF is going to really help Verstappen and Hamilton as they both jump him. He falls to 5th. Verstappen and Hamilton both move up a spot. And Leclerc is starting to lose touch with the front group. A couple poor qualifying runs that sort of, the last couple of races, that have put him back in the pack, which have not helped him at all. But yeah, I guess technically 6 cars really still in the fight. Leclerc is starting to slide back a little bit. And that was the Canadian Grand Prix. Pretty eventful race.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
I really just put the foot to the floor and just took advantage of the power unit.
Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today?
Yeah, our pace in the rain was actually really good.
Did you say things between you and your rival were heated today?
I'm gonna be a little salty toward Valtteri because he was really, even in the times before the crash where I sort of just had to use a couple replays, he was really throwing in those dive bombs. And he really was trying to run me off the track there a couple times.
Do you have any comments about the collisions?
I have no comment because I blame Valtteri.
Appreciate your time.
Because clearly he was the one at fault, in my opinion. Let's take a big lead ahead of him in the rivalry there. Oh, that's certainly a moment for the rivalry. That is for sure. A lot of money coming in, a lot of money. That we literally have nothing to do with. And it's actually funny because I saw some videos today that were, when I'm recording this, it's Friday the 4th. And I saw some videos looking at the career mode for F1 2021, and I noticed that they have a feature now where before you start your career mode, you can actually edit or adjust the settings for things like, I guess, how many resource points you can accrue, or how much resource points you can gain, and how much money you can gain. And I sort of feel like that, and of course we're going to have to wait until I actually get the game to look at it myself, but it's one of those things where I probably will strongly consider making the settings to where the money and the resource points flow in slower, just to give the career mode a little more for both. And to be clear, those settings you can adjust for like your experience, your cash flow, your resource points flow. That's stuff you can adjust for both yourself and the AI in the game. So I feel like adjusting both the AI settings and myself for the settings for my team, adjusting them lower will increase the longevity of career mode. Because as it stands, like once, really after Season 4, there really wasn't much left to accomplish in the career mode itself in terms of, aside from just playing it through. Like, by the time Season 4 came around, or by the time Season 4 really finished, I'd already won the championship. I'd already won the Drivers' Championship. Actually, both of them, Drivers and Constructors. And I maxed out cash. I've been maxed out on cash for almost 2 seasons now. And I maxed out resource points. There's nothing to really do unless there's an R&D reset. So I'm hoping that if I play, I'll probably end up adjusting those settings to make it where it's, you know, the amount is smaller, or you gain those points and that cash a little more slowly. At least so you can extend the longevity of your play with the game. So maybe, you know, instead of me maxing out at Season 3 or 4, maybe I'll go to 5 and 6 before I max out. At least I get some more play, more longevity out of the game. So that was something interesting that I noticed. That should be very interesting. Come the release of F1 2021. And we do have an invitational event, which I'm gonna skip. Don't really need to do it. I don't need the money, don't need the resource points. There's no need, really.
Our new parts have been completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the
And
next
I think we
race
just got another durability update from the constructor, Mercedes. So there we go. That's it for the Canadian Grand Prix weekend, and we'll see you next time for the French Grand Prix at Circuit Paul Ricard.